Good evening folks, and welcome to the first of this week's videos. Thanks for joining me. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. I'm back with you again for another scenery review. This time we're back in the UK. We're in the city of London. We're actually up in North London. This is London Luton Airport. Echo Golf Golf Whiskey. This is a new payware scenery from Inibuilds, and we're looking at version 1.0.1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. Just for a change, I've lowered the daylight down a little bit to the evening to give you a look at the airport at dusk. So this is currently available from both the Inibuilds store and SIMMARKET. I'll give you the prices from the Inibuilds store. It's currently €22.82, which equates to $24.76 US, or £19.59 UK. The Euro and US prices are estimates converted from the UK pound, and they include VAT at 20%. Obviously this may be different depending on where you live and which part of the world you're in. When you download this, tax is added, may be slightly different. But I've taken the Inibuilds store prices and I've added the tax at 20% to give you those estimates of what the product will cost you if you purchase it here in the UK. So let's look at the features. So the features list: we have handmade ground textures with crisp bespoke texture sets, and that includes runways, aprons, paths and roads. True to life airport landside recreation with custom ground decals, signposts, vegetation, parking barriers and more. Accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting, highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings. Up-to-date airport layout reflecting the current real-world location. For users of GSX Pro, there's an official GSX profile included in the scenery folder. Level of detail, or LOD, optimization for every model to encourage good performance. And they use the latest Microsoft SDK features to allow for best optimization and performance possible. You also have custom static aircraft, and you have the full INIManager compatibility to configure the scenery for best performance on your system. And lastly, bespoke taxiway signage as per the real world. So when you install this, you can use the INIManager to switch on or off things like static aircraft and other things depending on how powerful your computer is. So let's bring the daylight back and we'll talk some history. So history: London Luton International Airport, Echo Golf Golf Whiskey, is a public use international airport owned by the London Luton Airport Limited Company, a company which also is wholly owned by Luton Borough Council and operated by London Luton Airport Operations Limited. Located in Luton in the county of Bedfordshire in England, the airport lies 1.7 miles or 2.7 kilometres east of the town centre and 29 miles or 47 kilometres north of central London. An airport was opened on the current site in July 1938. During the Second World War, the airport was used by the Royal Air Force. Commercial activity and general aviation flight training at Luton resumed during 1952 after the war, and by the 1960s Luton Airport was playing a key role in the development of the package holiday business. By 1969, a fifth of all holiday flights from the UK departed from Luton Airport. From the mid-1960s, executive aircraft had been based at the airport too. During the late 1970s, an expansion plan was initiated at Luton to accommodate as many as 5 million passengers per year, although the airport experienced a reduction in passenger numbers in the 1980s. In 1990, the airport was renamed London Luton Airport to try and emphasise the airport's proximity to the capital. The arrival of new operators at Luton during the 1990s, such as the charter operator My Travel Group and the new low-cost scheduled flights from Debonair and EasyJet, contributed to a rapid increase in passenger numbers that made it the fastest growing major airport in the UK. In August 1997, to fund an £80 million extension of the airport, a 30-year concession contract was issued to a public-private partnership consortium, London Luton Airport Operations Limited. Throughout the 1990s, £30 million was invested in Luton's infrastructure and facilities. In November 1999, a new £40 million terminal was opened by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and the new building houses multiple check-in desks, baggage and flight information systems, and a range of commercial outlets. During 2004-05, the departure and arrivals lounges and other facilities were redeveloped at a cost of £38 million. Luton Airport has a single two-storey passenger terminal building which has been expanded and rearranged regularly over time. The ground floor is a main hall equipped with 62 check-in desks, a separate security screening hall, as well as some shops, service counters and the arrivals facilities. After the security screening hall, stairs lead to the departures lounge on the upper floor, where several more stores, restaurants and all 30 departure gates in 3 side piers can be found. One airport lounge is located inside the terminal. In March 2023, a new automated guided people mover, known as the Luton Dart, opened, which travels between Luton Airport Parkway Station and the airport. This eliminates the need for shuttle buses. Airlines operating out of London Luton include EasyJet, Ryanair, Sun Express, TUI and Wizz Air. DHL Aviation also operates cargo flights from this airport to Leipzig, Halle and Milan in Italy. So there you are folks, a brief history for you. Let's look at runways now. Okay, runways. So I've lowered the lighting and this time it's early morning, so we've got the sun behind us and you can get a good look at the runway. So London Luton Airport operates a single grooved runway, runway 2507, measuring just 7,093 feet or 2,162 metres and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 527 feet or 161 metres and is situated within the GMT UTC standard time zone. However, currently the UK moves ahead in the summer onto daylight savings time, and so Luton Airport is currently 1 hour ahead of GMT UTC. So runway 2507, we're looking at the 25 end in front of us. Both ends of this runway feature high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So here you can see we've got pretty much everything as per. The only additions are we have runway end identify lighting as well. There are the PAPIs on the left, here's the high intensity runway lighting, there's the touchdown zone and centerline lighting. You've also got the approach strobes, which are accurately shown on the chart. You've got the longer ones here at 2.5. They also exist at the other end, but they're shorter. So, approach is available again from both ends. You have an instrument landing system, both ends certified to category 3B, low visibility operations. You also have RNP approach option, an NDB localizer DME option, and you also have surveillance radar approach or SRA option 2. So let's go and have a look at the other end, runway 07. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 07, and I've lowered the lighting a little bit more so the sun rising in the distance doesn't completely obliterate what we're looking at. So as you can see, exactly the same as the other end. PAPIs on the left, touchdown zone lighting, centerline lighting, high intensity lighting. You also have the end identifier lighting here and the approach lighting here, which as you can see is shorter than the other one. So in addition to the approaches available, you have noise abatement here. Takeoffs and landings are restricted to between the hours of 0700 and 2300 local time, or 7 AM to 11 PM, except where aircraft are scheduled to arrive at the airport, where landings are between 0545 in the morning and 0700 will be permitted. So that does it for runways. As you can see, this runway has been accurately produced, nav aids and everything. No jetways at this airport, so let's get into the main tour and have a look at this airport in detail. Okay folks, here we are. We'll start with an overview of the airport central point for you. Here we are back in the daytime. Here's my aircraft parked on one of the stands. There are no jetways at this airport, and here's the main terminal, all linked together. Let's start by saying a few things off the bat. This is a really nice and highly detailed airport. Textures are really good and crisp. The modelling is of a very high standard, which is what we expect from Inibuilds. And pretty much all of the roads and internal stuff, and some of the external stuff as well, has all been 3D modelled. There are one or two issues. Mainly those are basically issues with the surrounding parts of the airport. They've done quite a number of buildings outside of the airport, which really look good, but there are one or two little terrain issues. And one thing that I think disappoints me a little bit, obviously in the history there we talked about the Dart people mover. Now we've got the station and they've got the track, but they don't have the animated train. And as with many other sceneries, the tunnels, such as this one here you can see from the distance, here's the train track. The tunnels are just completely opaque. I mean, these days it would have been really nice to have an animated train. It would really touch this scenery off. And you can't get into the station, you're bounced up to the roof again, although you can see the station from the outside. Those are the only little disappointments really for me. But in terms of an airport for you pilots to fly into and out of, the detail is wonderful. Both ends of the runway have turning circles, because obviously you enter the runway and you backtrack. At this end you don't have to backtrack too far, but the other end you have to go a little bit further, and you've got the turning circle. But as you can see from this high level shot, the airport looks wonderful. Some really nice weathering. Vehicles going around the airport, including tugs and various other vehicles. And it all looks really impressive. I'm quite impressed with it actually. So we'll get down low down here, and we'll just do a sort of a tour of the airside area and the various buildings here in the central part. And then we'll have a close look at some various bits and pieces, and then we'll go out to the runways, have a look at the taxiway signage, and then have a look at one of the two of the things that they've done off airport, including the Dart station. So here we are, we're heading this way. There you can see the terminal. My aircraft is parked. Notice you've got the fire tenders that are specific to this airport. You've got additional airport parking here, and here you've got parts of the airport still under construction here. That multi-story is still under construction. But you can see the ground clutter is excellent, everything you need. You've got one or two static aircraft. Here you've got the de-icing poles there. Those things down here, these are de-icing, they contain de-icing fluid. Here we're out onto the taxiway. As you can see, signage is brilliant. I mean, everything really looks the part here. Here's the fire station. And there down to the left you can see some snow moving equipment there. And loads of clutter here around about the car parks. All looks pretty impressive. Now here's the Darts line, which is quite nicely detailed until you get out here. It actually tends to go a little bit mad out there. We'll look at that later. But as you can see, plenty of cars all parked in their spots, and 3D modelling on the ground all the way out here, which is excellent. So as we head back into the airport, there you can see the tunnel, which is absolutely solid. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to either have that open or have some kind of graphic to give the illusion of a tunnel. Same again here. As you can see, it's just solid, which is a real pity because there are options now. There's the multi-story top block, the top side there. Here's the control tower, and there down there to the left you can see the EasyJet hangar, which we'll look at in a minute. The tower looks great from outside, but unfortunately, as you can see, we can't go in, which is a pity because you can see there it's been modelled. There's some internal development inside this control tower, no controllers, but that's a real pity. A project of this side and this complexity, you'd have thought this had been done, but that's a little bit of a disappointment. However, let's move on. So we continue our airside tour, and as you can see, beautiful 3D modelling here. No photo grand left here at all, really. It's all been very, very nicely done. And here's the EasyJet hangar, so any of you who want to go in and park your aircraft overnight for maintenance, there you go. So come across the central taxiway here. I'm not sure if this aircraft is a static or whether it's FSLTL playing silly things by putting it there. But again, you see you've got Signature, this is Signature Aviation. A really nicely modelled building. Got a fire tender down there as well. So going back to airside there, you can see an aircraft tug moving down the centre of the taxiway here. You've got the TUI hangar on the left. Here we've got additional parking stands. Again, all the sort of clutter that you would expect here. Looks really good. Here's a look at the other side. Here's the TUI hangar close up. And again, you've got plenty of clutter. Interesting, you've got the MONARCH hangar. I don't know if that still exists as it is at the real airport today, even though MONARCH is essentially no longer operating. Here's a NETJETS hangar. And here we are coming back round the corner. As you can see, various buildings and gates and markings. It all looks pretty impressive, to tell you the truth. It really does. So here we are approaching the cargo apron. And this is HARRODS Aviation, which used to exist at Heathrow before Signature sort of took over. And here you've got the cargo hangars and parking stands. This is the Signature main hangar. And here's a HARRODS hangar. Once again, beautiful ground markings, all done in 3D. Nothing left to photo ground. Okay, so let's just go in and have a closer look at the stands. You've got these drainage points here as well, look. Everything really nicely modelled. The detail is really good here. Blue airfield edge lights. And you've got traffic light system as well there. So you've got, I think we've got a parallaxing effect on the windows here. Let's see if we can go inside anyway. Oh, well that's a nice change, a nice surprise. You actually can go inside, and they've developed it. So we'll take a little tour here while we're here. And this is nice. Very nice. Very ambient, all very nice indeed. So we're back out airside again. Here's the stand where my aircraft is parked. And no complaints at all. It looks great, really does. So various airport vehicles, Denata there. Yeah, they got a blast screen. And some lovely weathering on that part of the building there, you can see, really good. It's great, the modelling and the detail, attention to detail here is excellent. And looking at the other side, wonderful. So while we're here, let's go inside here and see if there's any development on the other side. Looks like there might be. Yes. Very, very nice indeed. Quick look down that way. And in the other direction. And then looking out through the glass, you've got the appropriate misted effect that we see from outside, but still allows you to see the aircraft parked on the stand out there as well. So we have one or two sort of duplication of people models here, but I'm not really going to complain about that. Here you've got local trucks, all liveried in the proper livery for the catering vehicles that work at this airport. Very nice indeed. So we're back outside again. Let's explore a little bit further on here. So as you can see, even the roof is modelled. Okay, so now we're starting to see some people and some more detail. So just looking landside, here's a couple of B cars that are parked here. Again, some really good models. And just an example here of just how good the roads are, and the modelling is really excellent. So here's a look at the DART station at the airport end. This is where the train comes in and sort of parks up, as it were, and you get off. Just a quick look down here. Very nice. And here you have the escalators that will take you up towards the airport level. And again, some nice modelling here too. All in all, this is a really lovely airport, and we've got plenty of ambience here. It's really nice. Everything down to the traffic lights there. And there you've got buses. Very nice. And I really like the fact that they've added some people here to bring this airport to life. National Express is a regular UK bus company, so here you've got the bus station as well. Very impressive. So another high level shot there, just showing you the overview of the airport. As you can see, the central area here has been beautifully 3D modelled, and it continues around the ramp here. So the main airport itself, everything here is beautifully done, and everything you need. I love the inclusion of some passengers in various places. The control tower is a bit of a letdown, considering they've done all this wonderful work with passengers in the terminal. I can't see why they couldn't have done the control tower. Maybe it's going to look different at the darkness hours. We'll have a look in a minute. But let's get out to the taxiways and a quick look at the runway signage. Taxiway signage looks good. There's plenty of it. So let's follow the taxiway out here to this end. There to the right you've got more de-icing stuff. Yep, taxiway signage looks good. They're all on concrete plinths. They're not just stuck in the grass, which is nice. It's very good. And here we are approaching the entry point to the runway. And again, the signage is great. No wigwags, or runway guard lights as the Americans call them. I don't know if they exist at the real airport. I can't say because I've not been here. Maybe somebody let me know in the comments. So here's the runway 07 threshold. There's the turning point that I mentioned. So plenty of room there for you to turn your aircraft round. So once again, here you can see plenty of signage. All looks pretty good out here. Taxiway Alpha. Some construction work there on the left. And yeah, signage for the daytime. You're going to find it hard to get lost here, because the taxiways are well marked. So before we leave the daytime, I just want to show you one last thing here. Here's the railway that goes into the airport. As you can see, it's been nicely done here. It looks really good. The only thing it's missing is an animated train, which would have been wonderful. But who knows, maybe they'll revisit this scenery. Speed this up a little bit. What I wanted to show you, there are one or two terrain anomalies here, but most of them occur off the airport, where they've modelled buildings, important buildings close to the airport, but the terrain doesn't look brilliant. Here's an example. As you can see, the railway's been 3D modelled all the way out here. The terrain is low res and looks a bit weird. And as you get out here towards the right hand side, the 3D modelling goes a little bit awry as well. But here to the right you can see evidence of work that they've done as well off airport, where they've left photo real. Here's the railway that goes right across the highway. And this is another feature here of this airport. And there you've got the main station, which unfortunately you can't go in. You have the same problem. Go up close and you get bounced to the roof. But it has been modelled, although there's no people there. But here you can see the sort of anomalies I'm talking about. The airport, off the airport and the outside where they've done all this really nice work, doesn't quite work very well because it doesn't match the terrain. The terrain hasn't really been taken into account with the modelling, it's just kind of been left. But you know what, the airport's all you need in stunning detail, so I can't ignore the fact that it's just brilliant. It's just where they've gone off airport and they've spent time doing this kind of modelling, it's kind of been let down a bit because it's not been properly done. Okay, so let's turn the light down to dusk and have a look at the night lighting. Okay, 7:45 in the evening. It's sort of like the middle of April 2024. The sun's disappearing in the horizon there. There's the sunset. Lighting came on about a minute or 2 minutes ago. And here's an example, an overview from this area where you can see how it looks. Looks pretty impressive. If you look out to runway 07 threshold in the distance here, you can see the runway all nicely lit. You've got green and orange exit lights off the runway and green centerline lights to help you find your way around. Here's looking at the other end. Here you've got the fire training ground out here, and here you've got the strobes going into runway 25. They are all on plinths. When I first looked at this from ground level, I thought, hang on a second, they're up in the air. But actually they're not, they're on plinths. Okay, so let's head into the central area. There you can see the signage. There's some beautiful lighting here. I love the way they've done the lights, the taxiway lights as well. And the signs are very nicely lit. There's lots of ambient lighting here that looks really good. As you can see, the taxiways are brilliant. It's really impressive. Downlighting on the buildings there, marvellous. So a close look at the terminal parking points. There you can see inside the building. Now remember, we looked inside, there is internal development, and even at this, it's still fairly bright, you can still see inside. That's a lovely effect. And the same is true on this side here. And once again you can see inside, you can see the development and the passengers, which looks really good, very impressive. So we mentioned about the look and feel of the control tower before. You've got the people there with the dart station down there below, all nicely lit. So let's have a close look at the tower and see whether it looks any better. I've got a feeling it's going to look a lot better, because it looks like they've lit it up. Pity it looks so sort of ordinary during the day. They developed it but you can't see. So this looks great. From the outside looks wonderful. Bear in mind we can't go inside and there are no controllers. But there you go, a fully developed control tower that you can't go in and have a look at, and there are no controllers. That's a real pity. We've got people models there. I want to stick one inside here. It's just, sometimes I don't get it, the amount of work and detail that's gone into this project. It's stunning, and yet they leave glaring things like this. I just don't get that. However, I'm going to try to be positive about this airport, because generally 98% of this airport is fantastic. And there you can see beautiful lighting on it. So a couple of shots landside, just showing you the people. Here they are on the upper level. And this is the top of the dart station that comes up into the airport, and you go down the escalators down there. So there you got some more people by the bus station to the right. Let's go airside again over the top of the EasyJet hangar. And again, you see they've got lovely little, a few bits of people. So I shouldn't really say bits of people, but they've got people models sitting random around the airport, which really makes this brilliant. But nothing in the tower. Some stunning airside lighting, really is. So here we are approaching the EasyJet hangar in all its glory, and again the lighting is great. It's all been provided by the right source. There are no asobo globes floating around. There's plenty of clutter, all of it accurate. Would have been, there we go, we do get some lighting on the vehicles. Can't see any headlights or tail lights. But yeah, I'm not complaining. But look at this hangar. Really impressive. So Signature Aviation, I don't expect there to be any development here. Might just be parallaxing, we'll see. Yeah, that looks like parallaxing. But as you can see, it's high detail and so it works. Even up close it looks pretty good. If that is a model that comes with the static aircraft model, that's a really nice model, it's pretty good. So a quick look at some of these hangars at night, or at dusk rather. I mean, everywhere you look the lighting's very impressive. It's excellent. And here you can see we're just looking at the other side. The central area has been really beautifully modelled and lit. I mean, I was starting to look at the price with the tax and thinking, you know, should I or should I? But oh, hang on a second, did you see that? The fire engine had a little hiccup there. But you see, when you look at the level of detail here and the work that's been done, I mean, this is amazing. Look, parallaxing on here of a very high quality. And it looks brilliant, it really does. Everything down to these little traffic lights. There's a little bit of subtle lighting there on the cargo area. Again, no silly asobo globes floating around. And static aircraft models are brilliant. So just a couple of high level shots. As you can see, there are buildings that have been done off airport, so you should have a look at these. I'm not going to spend time looking at those because this video would go on far too long, trying to concentrate really on the airport itself. But everywhere you look, it's just very, very nicely done. I mean, that is great. It really is. So there was a good look at the airport at dusk. Let's take it down to night time now. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see the night is well upon us, and the central area, the lighting's come up quite significantly, but it looks great from up here. So let's go and do a low tour across the central point here at low level and have a look. So we've come down to a low level and we'll just travel across the airport here and have a look. And as you can see, the ramp lighting is excellent. You're not going to have any problems finding your way into the central area here. Again, you can still see in through the glass. It does look impressive, doesn't it? It really does. There's a really high standard of modelling. an ultra high standard of modelling, I have to say. It's really impressive. The addition of people, random people in the various places, really make this as well and give it the atmosphere and ambience it really deserves. It's a lovely airport. Just come up a bit to look at the tower. It looks really good. We're going to get bumped up the top, of course we do. But then you go to the other side, look, and yeah, it looks great. And there you've got a radar dome all properly lit up. It looks really impressive. And down here, the signature building from landside. I mean, that looks brilliant. Fuel farm to the left of us there. And there in the distance you can see the stanchions that hold up the railway line for the Dart Tunnel. And various hotels, here's one of them. And it looks great, it really does look nice. Okay, here's a quick view from the flight deck. This is what you'll see when you park up on stand 47 where we are at the moment. And there you can see in through the glass in the terminal we've got this really nice effect. You know, it's great, it really is. Quick layout from the captain's side. And looking across from the first officer's window. And just a quick close up on the stand here. I mean, the quality of modelling here is brilliant. Look, even down to the guards here. And you've got this kind of glow reflection on the glass. The modelling is just stunning. And here's the other side. I spawned directly from the menu, and as you can see on this stand, certainly at least, we spawned literally right on the correct marker. Very, very good. Okay, let's bring the dawn up, and if I position this right, the sun should come up behind us, and we should get a nice glow on all the buildings. Let's have a look. So just before 6:30 in the morning, and here you can see the sun's coming up behind us, and there's this beautiful glow on the buildings. I mean, this airport is a must. It's a beautiful airport. One of the top airports. There are some issues which I would like to see fixed or worked on to make this a truly ultra project. We'll discuss those in the conclusions section at the end. But here we are, the dawn comes up, and as you can see, just a beautiful view across the central part of the airport there. And just another view looking in this direction, show you the massive car park you've got here, the additional parking that you've got. There's the construction site to the right, and again we've got the central area here to the left. Really, really does look good. Okay, 8:30 in the morning local time, and as you can see the sun is well up. Here's the central area, looks really great. Time to give you my conclusions. What do I think? To be honest, I'm quite amazed. I love this airport. I mean, Pyreg Dev Company, you've got some serious competition here. This has been beautifully done. The central area, which obviously is important for the pilots, has been painstakingly recreated in 3D modelling. The modelling itself is of a ultra high standard. The buildings, the addition of the small details right down to things like the traffic lights, the guardrails on the stands, it's fantastic. I've looked at many photographs on the internet for this airport, and the modelling here, this airport model scenery matches it almost perfectly. It's really, really good everywhere you look. From a pilot's point of view, you're going to have no problem finding your way around. Obviously charts you'll need to sort of look at the ground markings, but flying in and out of this airport as a pilot is going to look pretty real, especially when you add weather effects and stuff like that. Do I think it's worth the price? Absolutely. We're getting on for €23 or $25 US, or just under 20 quid UK. Yep, it's at the higher end, but it's not as expensive as some. I mean, we have airports that are nowhere near as detailed as this that are on the market at the moment for 27, 28 euros, which is ridiculous. But this is a beautifully modelled airport in stunning detail, and the price, I think, accurately reflects the work that's been done. It's a very, very competitive price for what you're getting here. Let's talk about some of the anomalies and things I'd like to see altered or fixed, if you will. The train station looks great inside, and you've got all these wonderful people models around that give the airport an atmosphere and an ambience which makes it fantastic. Yet they've modelled the inside of the control tower, but you can't get in to see it. You can only see it from the outside, and there's not even a controller. I'd like to see a controller, at least one, possibly two added in there. Male and female controller would be really good. The dart tunnel, okay, they've gone to the lengths of modelling that, and it's great, it really is. But it needs an animated train. And it needs to be properly modelled all the way out to the station. They've chosen to do the station off airport, but you can't go in and see it. Because you bounced out to the roof, and also the stanchions that hold up the rail don't go fully to the ground because of the terrain has not been modelled, or the railway has not been modelled correctly to fit the terrain. That needs to be fixed, which would make that an improvement. But if they've modelled the railway all the way out to the station at the end, they need to fix the sort of low quality terrain that you see along the way there. And yeah, to be honest, I would like to see an animated train. I really would. This is such a good airport. It's sacrilege not to do that, because at the moment this is close to one of the top airports I've ever seen, not just from Inibuilds but from anybody. It's great. It really is truly wonderful airport at a very, very competitive price. And that animated train situation is crying out for development. There's plenty to look at off airport as well, hotels and various buildings that are unique to this area and the city. And again, you've got issues with terrain modelling. Some of the buildings aren't quite sitting in the terrain properly, because it's just been left a bit. So I think whoever's done the buildings off airport, and they're really good, you should go and see them, needs to look at the terrain surrounding those buildings as well, and just make sure that there are no anomalies surrounding what the work that they've done, because it makes it look bad if they've gone to all that trouble and they've not worked on the terrain literally right beside where the buildings are, to make it look decent. I appreciate it's off airport and it's just maybe a little, it's a diversion, if you will, and I understand that, and if they don't want to do that, I get that. But for me, this airport is 99% perfect. To make it 100%, I'd like to see the control tower developed inside so that you can go in it and you need some controllers. And I'd like to see the railway, the dart thing, fully developed with an animated train. And then you've got 100%. You've got a top airport. You've got a top airport anyway. Everything you need here as a pilot is here in spades, and it's fantastic. Really, I can't praise it highly enough. And at this price, it's really, really good. So there you are, folks. This is London Luton Airport in the UK. Echo Golf Golf Whiskey. A payware scene from the Inibuilds. You're looking at version 1.0.1. They've made a small update, I believe, somewhere along the way, and it's for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads at 2.32 gigabytes and installs at 5.31 gigs. It's available from the Inibuilds store and from SIMMARKET. The Inibuilds store price, I've calculated the prices and added the tax at 20% that they've initiated, and you come out with about €22.82, which equates to roughly $24.76 US, or £19.59 UK. As ever, the euro and the US prices are all estimates converted from the UK pound, and the include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course may be different if you're in a different country and you buy this. This is a feature-rich airport. I can't recommend it highly enough. I've got to fly in and out of here. Just even some taxiing video would really showcase this off, but then I probably don't need to do that. But if you fly in the UK and you want an alternative to Heathrow and Gatwick, this is it. It's lovely. It's a top airport. It's a top product. So there you are, folks. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. We're wrapping up the first of this week's 2 reviews, and wow, what a way to start. What a fantastic airport. Just go and get it. It's brilliant. Thanks for joining me. I hope this has helped you. If you've been on the fence and wondering about this, because I believe Luton's come out before, certainly for P3D, but Flight Sim 2020, this takes advantages of all of the bits and pieces that make our favourite simulator the one we want to be in. So stay tuned this week for our second review, where we'll be looking at Yeosu Airport in South Korea, Romeo Kilo Juliet Yankee, released by Orbix, and I purchased this so I could have a good look at it because it does look really impressive. And we've got a few airports appearing in South Korea now, so it's time to look at this and see how it goes and see how it compares. But it's another good scenery. I'll give you that straight away, and we'll be looking at that later this week. World tour, we're currently on Langkawi Island in Malaysia. We've got a short sector down to Kuala Lumpur coming up, and I'm going to try and get a video landing into Kuala Lumpur for you. And then it's down towards Singapore and further into Asia. So thank you for joining me, folks. I will see you in the next video. You guys have a great week, safe flying, and I'll see you then. Bye bye for now.